Welcome to Heart Rehab. Thank you for joining me again. I am your host, Nephetia Brown, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys once again. So today I have some really some really special guests with me. They are my pride and joy. I wanted to bring them here today because I felt that it was very important. I know that it is important for your children's perspective, the children's perspective to be heard when it comes to managing the heart and rehabilitating the heart, especially after their parents or their parent gets divorced. So I wanted to make this episode super personal. I'm super nervous for this one. Like, I've never been this nervous about this, and I see these guys every day. But it's all good. That means they mean something to me. So I want to introduce to everyone out there my sons, Tyshawn, Rashawn, and DeShawn. Yes, they are all Shawns. Yes, they are. It's actually a really good story. We'll get to that. But I'd like to introduce my guys. So can we hear from the oldest, the eldest first? Tyshawn?
Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Tyshawn. I'm 24, from Brooklyn, New York. I'm so happy to be here today with my mom, supporting her on her podcast.
Woo!
Shout out to Nephetia Brown,
Hey.
always changing things, even when it may feel like she's stuck in the moment, but always finds a way. So yeah, we're here. We're about to have a really serious discussion, as she says.
Around the, serious fun.
Serious fun. Okay. We get the
Shake it
gist
up
of
a
it.
bit.
We get the gist. Shake it up. Okay, Taylor Swift. But yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm a behavioral therapist. During the day, I work with children with autism and other developmental disabilities. I also make music. I act, I model. And I've started doing those things around like 2023, 2024-ish. And, at first, it was very, like, hard to, like, make myself seen in front of people because, like, I was, like, really shy growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just being in front of people, like, I always had the urge to, like, be in front of people and show myself to people.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the things, like, I went through, like, in my life and stuff, like, kind of made that hard for me.
Right.
But there was just a point where I just had to stop caring about what other people thought about me, and I just had to, like, start living for myself because I always say this: no one is gonna have your back as much as you do, with the exception of maybe your parents. But even then, like, you have to care for yourself first, because if you don't care for yourself, then why should other people care about you and care to help you?
Right.
So I always have that mindset, and it hasn't failed me. Like, we need to grow as people, and, like, the only way to grow is to, like, put yourself in situations that might be uncomfortable at first, and then, just keep doing it, and then just keep showing up, being consistent. Like, you just got to keep putting in work, as I say, putting work.
That is one of his songs, and we are going to get into some of those things, if you don't mind, when, in a little bit. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, cool. Rashawn.
Hello.
Say something about yourself.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Rashawn, obviously. I'm 13. I'm turning 14 in November.
Mm-hmm.
So some things about me: I'm very, very social. I like to express myself the way I like to. So it's like, one thing about me is, if you and I could, like, click in a minute, it's like
Go time for you.
It's
a party kid. The party kids. I don't know where they get that from.
So it's like, come on, like, if we're gonna click this much, and, like, if we're gonna sit next to each other in class all the time, like, if you're gonna do all that, like, what's the reason for us not to? Like, one thing I am I'm very independent. I like doing everything by myself. Not everything by myself, but I like doing everything that I can possibly do by myself. Like, um, for example, like I built my cat's playhouse by
Sure
myself.
did.
I sure did. Like I was sitting there for hours watching my show on Netflix, doing it. My little brother, he asked me, "Ja, do you need help?" I was like, "I'm good." I'm good. I don't need nobody to help me. I just want to do it myself.
He don't. He also loves to build like Lego
Legos.
cars and stuff like that. He likes to cook. And when
I
he
love
likes
to
to cook, he likes for the kitchen to be cleared out. He don't want anybody in there unless he has a question, of course.
Yeah, so especially with the cooking, thank you for bringing that up.
Mhm.
So, especially with cooking, that's something I really do want to pursue further on in my life. I want to start a business. I want to have my own restaurant. I want everybody to try my food, even though I had already for some people. Yeah, that's something I really want to pursue in my life. But one thing I also can be surprisingly, I could be very shy sometimes. So like when I get put in the spotlight, sometimes I kind of start
Freezes up.
freezing some. I
Mhm.
start like laughing it off. But it's like Tyshawn said, you can't really care about what people think because if you keep on having that mindset, that's gonna be something that you're gonna think all the time.
Right.
You can't just really just go based off what other people say. You have to go by what you say for yourself. Like I got this. Nobody can say this what I
Nobody
can or
can
can't
stop
do.
you. Yep.
So yeah, that's a little about me. So
Thank you, babe. And we will continue in a bit. So now we got the little guy.
Hello.
What's up, DeShawn?
My name is DeShawn. I'm turning 11. I'm a 6th grade scholar for LCCS, and no, it's just like me personally. I don't think I've been shy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been shy. Like it's like I'm very social.
Mm-hmm. Also,
like-
he's social, but you're very social.
I mean, like I feel like I was never shy.
You weren't.
You were. You've always had not a hard time. You've always had like an easy time making
like
friends.
clicking with anybody.
So-
Yes.
Like even when we were out the country, you were just
Clicking
oh,
with
hey,
everybody,
hey,
right?
Like, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are my guys, everyone. These are my guys. So listen, so let's get into it. Tyshawn spoke about, some things about himself. The boys, they spoke about some, general things about themselves, but we're gonna get into it. Okay, because I think it's very important that, people hear your perspective. So as I said before on a previous episode, this is my second baby. Heart Rehab is my second baby. But my first baby is Rebuilding After Divorce. That is my book. Nephetia Brown wrote a book one day, decided to do it, just decided to go all out and do it. And I dedicated a chapter to my sons because it was really difficult for me being separated and going through a divorce. And in Tyshawn's case, he has his own dad, right? And so he basically had to go through this twice. And it was very important for me to share my experience about thinking about the kids when it comes to this. I think that I know for sure. This is what I know for sure. I know for sure that adults sometimes forget that there are other people involved. It's not just the two of you. It's if you have children, it's you and your children. If you don't have children, it's you and your extended family. But we're talking about the kids, right? And so we forget that. We forget that the children exist and what we go through, they also go through. So I decided to dedicate a chapter to my guys. And it's chapter 12, and it says, the title is What About the Children? As adults, we are so focused on how we are feeling at the moment about the breakup in our relationship. We forget to consider how our children may feel and reflect our negativity onto them. We may say things that shouldn't be said about our spouse or act in a way the children should not see. We say and do things that affect the children and never take time to think about how the children are feeling. The children are going through this divorce as well. It is just as painful or more painful for them to go through this life-changing event. You want to set a good example for your children by showing them that things will not always be what you want them to be. But getting through the difficult points will build character and reinforce your faith. Show your children that adults can agree to disagree. Therefore, doing the right thing to allow your children to move forward peacefully. By making this transition easier on your children, you will witness that you will make it a bit easier on yourself. So, what compelled me to write this, chapter was that it was very hard for me to accept that divorce was on the table. That was super hard for me. I had felt like I failed Tyshawn twice because, as I stated, he has his own dad. And getting married to someone else, I thought that it was going to be forever. And their relationship, as well as my relationship with my ex-husband, their relationship became very, very, very painful. I think, and I'm not speaking for him, but I think that my ex-husband was taking a lot of his anger out on Tyshawn. And then Rashawn was sickly as a baby, as a toddler. He was diagnosed with epilepsy. DeShawn was also diagnosed with epilepsy. Tyshawn, at 10, he mentioned earlier that he was shy, but later on, we found out that he wasn't just shy, but he was placed on a spectrum with the diagnosis of Asperger's, ADHD, depression, etc., etc. All of these things were going on in my life, in our lives. And I and them, they and I were also going through a divorce. And it was very difficult to wrap my mind around that. At the time, what we call Rashawn Jaja. So I mentioned that they're all Shawns, right? We'll get back to that. So everybody has a nickname. Ty, Jaja, Beezy. Because sometimes I say it's Tyshawn, Rashawn, DeShawn. All they hear is Sean. So everybody's like, yes. But Jaja, when his dad left, I think he was 3 or 4. So that means they're 3 years apart. Jaja and Beezy. So that means he was a baby, right? And Tyshawn was what, 13? 14, yeah. Right? And so I'm going through all of these things, and Tyshawn's hormonal, and he's going through his own thing. He has other things going on, and things are just really bizarre in the household, right? Really crazy. Doctor's visits, therapy visits, school visits, like it was nuts in my house. And this man wants to leave. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So what am I supposed to do? But I did it. I didn't do it the best at all times, but I did it. I made mistakes, and but we got through it. And so looking back, I know I could have done things differently. I know that I could have spared their feelings more, spared my feelings more. It's because I wasn't always nice to myself. I was very hard on myself. But we're here today, right?
Yeah.
And things still ain't always easy. I just want to let y'all know because I'm telling you.
For sure.
Because three young men and their mother, that don't always mix. I'm sorry. And then I have a grown man. Definitely don't always mix. Okay?
No, it does not. It really
It does not mix. Okay? So, so it gets rough, but we make it through most of the time, right?
Yep.
I'm not always their favorite person, and they definitely don't be my favorites. But we always get through it, and we get through it together. So, guys, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you guys a few questions. That's cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right, cool.
That was powerful, though. I wanted to.
I was just about to ask.
That
was
was
it all
great.
right? I was holding back tears a little bit.
We noticed him like it's all good, but like
Okay.
I was like, I need to make sure you get this.
Thank
all out
you.
before we can start.
All right.
Hold on one sec.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna ask y'all. I didn't write this down, but I'm gonna ask y'all about your diagnosis and how you feel about that.
I want to talk about that too.
All right. Just be mindful of saying like. You could say like. I told you be yourself, but be mindful of your words. Be mindful of how you're wording your words. Okay.
Yeah. And-
All right. All right, Jaja.
and
Okay.
try not to like fidget so
Yeah.
much. Like have a neutral pose.
Yeah.
When you're in front of the camera.
If you have to. All right.
Yeah.
All right, B.
Cool. There you go. If this starts falling down again, I'll just stop.
All right. Cool.
We should be good. All right, so we just paused at. Let me ask you guys some questions.
All right. Cool.
So now, ask some questions.
All right. Cool. So, Beezy, I'm gonna start with you first.
Wait, did he?
Yes.
Okay.
Beezy, I'm gonna start with you first.
Okay.
All right. Because he takes medication still for epilepsy.
Still.
Yeah. How do you feel about your medical diagnosis? How do you feel about having epilepsy and ADHD?
I feel all right about having epilepsy and ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
But about ADHD, there's a lot of other stuff people don't see. Sometimes people just say it's like they only fidget and keep still and just are scatterbrained. But it's a lot more than that.
What do you mean?
Like, there's like sometimes like you could be scatterbrained and then you are, how can I word this? Not, because not focus is also scatterbrained. So like scatterbrained and then very forgetful is something people don't see. And another thing people don't see is like when they think scatterbrained is just like only not paying attention. So yeah, I feel I'm all right with my diagnosis.
Yeah. So what do you do to try to like gain focus again?
To gain focus, it's what do I do?
That's the question. You want me to come back to you?
I have an answer.
Okay, cool.
So, to stay focused, like in general,
Yeah.
alright, so sometimes to stay focused, I chew gum or I can, to stay focused, I can like take notes on a piece of loose leaf paper.
I've seen you do that. Definitely seen you take notes real quick. Like, what do I have to do? I don't want to forget. And he'll write it down. So that's good. That's good to know. I don't think I ever asked y'all how y'all feel about it. I don't think I ever. That's why I decided to ask. So, Jaja, how do you feel about having epilepsy in the past? And do you worry about it ever coming back? That's an even better question.
Okay, so that is actually that's something that stays on my mind like quick. Like that's something that it lives rent free in my head.
Really?
Like, it doesn't really, I don't really think of it too much, but I think of it enough. So like if I take a bad fall on my head, or if I fall down, hit my head, I'm be like I hope it don't come back again. So me having epilepsy in the past, it wasn't really enjoyable when I had my episode.
Of course not.
Oh, no, what would it be?
Yeah.
I really didn't like when I had to go to the neurologist and take tests, and then they spend like 2 hours there. It was very, very scary because you never know when it could happen. I always was so nervous to miss a day of my medication. Even if I got sick, I would be scared because now I'm sick and I have epilepsy.
Right.
So it's like one time I had it was a bad stomach bug. Middle of the night, I was like around 7 or 8 years old. I woke up, I was like twisting and turning. I threw up 3 times. I was weak. So I didn't know how to push myself up. So my dad, he helped me. He told me to take an antibiotic and then rush me to the hospital. And then he called you. You guys came. Y'all were right there in the hospital next to me. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't really in my body. I was just like out. Like I wasn't really awake.
Right.
So it was scary. I'm like in my head, oh my God, what's happening? Like, where am I? What is this doctor doing to me?
Right.
So it was really a frightening time of my life. I didn't really like my diagnosis, but I took it as careful as I can, took it as calmly as I can, because that's something that I could heal from. Yeah. Which I did.
Right.
I'm going on about 7 years now off my medication.
Woo!
Hey.
So, Ja, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How did it feel? Like, were you excited? Were you like sad? Like, did you have happy tears?
It was bittersweet. I'm going to say because the only reason why I would say it was bittersweet, it was because of you.
Why?
Because you weren't off the medication.
Oh, wow.
So when I had my last day off medication and when I was free to go, I was like, what about BZ? What about BZ? No, he still has to take medication. I'm like, I was like, how am I going to do this? I wouldn't know what to do if we didn't have stop taking medication together. Like, is it still gonna keep on going? Is he gonna have to take more? Is he gonna have to take less? Is he gonna have to have a shorter schedule for bedtime than I am? Is he gonna it was just a scary and bittersweet moment because it
didn't seem fair,
what
right?
about you? It didn't seem fair.
Yeah.
So you still having to take out your time in school and I still stayed there. So we're separated. I can't even see mommy when you go to the neurologist. I stay in school. So I'm like, we cannot traveled together for the same diagnosis that we had. Like,
Right.
that was one of the most strongest connections or similarities we had as brothers.
Mm.
So it was like, I'm off medication and he not. It was unfair to me. I didn't like it.
Wow. It's crazy how something like bad can connect, build a bond. Because it is trying. It was trying to watch you guys go. I remember one being sick, having a seizure, having 2 seizures, and the other one having a seizure a few days later. It used to drive me crazy. Like literally drive me crazy and drive Mama D crazy, because remember Mama D was in the house with us, after, your dad and I were separated. So it was very difficult to watch you guys go through that. And it was also bittersweet for me too, because I was like, Dag, I hope that Beezy doesn't feel a way about not being off the medication. I hope he knows that it can happen, and it will happen for him in time. And if it doesn't, which I don't believe, I believe because you haven't had a seizure in like 2 years. And so I believe that you'll be able to come off the medication. But that was also a thought for me too. Wow. Thank you.
October makes 3 years.
Without a seizure. You see how they keep count of their own? Like
October 12th.
They're pretty responsible with their medical diagnosis.
Does the blackout count?
Yeah, it could count, but it doesn't count as much. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have something to add on to.
What's that?
So when you were saying about the seizure part,
Mm-hmm.
it was also bittersweet for that, because I remember one time, our cousin,
Mm-hmm.
Serenity, she had came over.
Mm-hmm.
It was one day we were all relaxed in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
He started seizing.
Mm-hmm.
So, whew,
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, that was
I remember
rough.
that
was
day.
Yeah.
like Tyshawn was there too.
Yeah.
Me and Serenity, we were shook.
Yes. Y'all
We were
were very
shook.
scared.
I was like, oh my God, this is not happening.
Right.
So now Tyshawn, he wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, Ty, oh my God, Beezy, he's seizing. Now, I believe Mama D, she was either upstairs or outside.
Mm-hmm.
We called the paramedics,
Mm-hmm.
took him out on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, me and my cousin, Tyshawn, we held each other in the arms. We were looking up here like, come on, he need to be strong with this. Like,
Right.
this is something that we have together. So, that was kind of a shaky time.
That was a shaky moment.
Because it's like I said, you never know when it happens.
Yeah.
And that was like a strong example. Like, you never know what happens.
Yeah.
So after that happened, I was like, when is this going to end? Like, when is it going to stop?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was another add-on.
Wow. I'm speechless a little bit because, again, I never really asked y'all like how you feel. I know how they, respond and stuff like that, but to know they're sitting here thinking the same thing I'm thinking and feeling the same thing I'm feeling, it goes to show you that your children feel what you feel, and sometimes they feel it a little more because they don't always understand what's going on. And so we have to be fair, with their feelings as well. So now my big guy, my big son.
Yes.
My big son.
Tyshawn.
My big son. I had him, I was 21 years old. So, we always play around. We say that we have this we have a mother and son relationship, but we grew up together. And so it's kind of like a brother-sister relationship too. He respects me as his mom always, and I love him as my son. But, we watched each other grow. He watched me grow, and I wasn't a full adult when I had him. So It's different. With them, I was in my 30s. I'm telling my age, but that's all right. I don't care. With him,
Embrace it.
right? No, it's all right. I don't care. With him, I was 21. You know, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. I'm sorry. That's just what it is, right? And so we made things. I made it work. I don't know, the grace of God. It was only the grace of God that I made it work. And you know, strong family and stuff like that. But I was a good mom after all. But I always knew something was going on with Ty, and I refused to give in to some of the things that he, you know, he always wanted to time check. He was very, you know, play with the cards. Everything was strategically put together. He always had to make patterns, things of that nature. So I kind of knew there was something going on, but I wouldn't give in to those things until, you know, tables turned, and I had to, you know, I had to get him therapy and had to do those things. And even then, they were like, how doesn't he have an IEP? Because he was told that he would never go to college. He would never live on his own. And he went to Hunter College and graduated last year, okay? He works as a behavioral specialist, right? Therapist, excuse me. And so that's something that he said he wanted to do. He wanted to work with kids, you know, like himself. And so, so he didn't let those things hinder him. However, how do you feel? How do you feel in your skin having the diagnosis of Asperger's, which they don't even, you know, they call it
like level 1 autism now.
Right. And ADHD, depression, anxiety.
I'm not gonna lie, like, so I was diagnosed when I was 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, when I was 10, I didn't know a whole lot about autism other than the fact that one of my cousins, Malari, has it. Mm-hmm. And he was, is nonverbal. So I just had this not weird view, but like this misunderstood view of what autism was. Mm-hmm. So when I was diagnosed with it, like when the therapist told me that I had like Asperger's, I started like doing my own research, and
he sure did. I
had to, because I needed to understand more about myself and why I was the way that I was. So like upon like getting that diagnosis, and this would continue for like years, like in years and years and years. Like I would just always like read articles about autism, watch videos about autism, like learn about like the biological function of autism, because like every diagnosis has a biological basis, even if it's psychological. Like I was a psychology major, so we learned that everything that's psychological is also biological. So learning about all the different, like, I'm being like real sciencey here, like all the different like neurotransmitters and hormones that like contribute to it, and like the lack of neurotransmitters that we have that make us the way that we are, it was really interesting. But I also felt like me being autistic, it kind of, especially since like I have such a high level of autism, so like to other people it may just look like I'm being weird, but I'm not being weird. And to other people, like, it may seem like I don't have a disability at all, when I mean I do technically have a disability, but I don't let it hinder me. So, you know, I was like really shy, really awkward, and I felt like people like kind of saw through that. So like I was very like, I want to say socially like vulnerable. Like I didn't really have like lots of friends in elementary school and middle school, or even really like high school. But high school is like where I kind of like made more friendships, and I felt like that's kind of set the foundation for now, because when I came out of my skin, I just found it so much easier to like build connections and form relationships with people and be transparent with them about who I am. So like now I'm doing all these other entertainment things, and like I'm just, you know, glazing through. But sometimes I still like have these awkward moments, like, oh my God, do they peep me? Like, do they think I'm weird or something? But like I learned like not to let those thoughts consume me, because like I'm so much more than my thoughts. I'm so much more than like my diagnoses. So I just, you know, I learned like how to adjust to it, because sometimes in life you just gotta readjust.
Right.
You really just gotta readjust sometimes. Like not everything in life is going to be easy the way that you want. So that's like what I've learned from it, from having being autistic at least. Oh my God, my ADHD though. Oh my goodness, like I used to say my autism was the one that affected me the most.
Right.
But like I lose headphones like all the time. Like I lose headphones all the time. And I just lost my keys, the front and the back key. Yesterday, there was the times where I lost my phone in the car.
Yeah.
I left my phone in the car.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes like I skip over little things, and I'm not gonna say I dislike or hate having ADHD, but it honestly can be like a bit of a deterrent for me sometimes.
Right.
More than like I used to say my autism was, but like the ADHD sometimes it just gets really, really out of control, and
which in turn kind of causes like anxiety, because you're
Right.
always
you're always wondering. Yeah.
Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do this? Oh my God, I gotta do this, but I gotta do this first.
Double checking to see if you have everything before you leave the house. I don't have OCD, by the way,
Right.
but like
no, he does not.
But it's just a lot sometimes, and I feel like people don't really have the greatest picture of what ADHD is, because we're not lazy, we're not, like my brother said, we're not scattered brained. We're humans,
right?
And our brain just functions differently than a person without ADHD,
right?
And anxiety and depression. Yup, I am the DSM-5. In real life. So
I want to say this, right? Because sometimes, because my kids are my kids, not just my kids, but my kids. And I want to say that I apologize if I'm not always empathetic, because I forget. Y'all, I just, they regular kids to me. They my sons. They are smart. They are funny. They're witty. They're talkative, and they get on my nerve because they are my kids. And I forget to acknowledge the fact that there is something other than normal things going on with them, And that's why I said also in the past, I didn't always deal with being divorced and dealing with them to my best ability. I didn't always do that. And because I forget that, because when they're, just being regular, when they're not sick, when their moods aren't up and down and things aren't going crazy, I forget. And that's why I wrote that chapter, is because as adults, as husband and wife, we need to remember that our kids matter in a situation, and it's not always about us. Because we're going through, we become selfish in our feelings, right? And you want everybody to be compassionate with you and have sympathy for you, but you forget to be compassionate towards your children. As you can see, my kids have had and have things going on. And so sometimes you lose sight of that because everything is okay at the moment, but they're not always okay. They're always thinking. Children are always thinking, and we disregard that as adults. Young people are always thinking, and me being the elder in a situation, I disregard that at times, and I apologize for that, because I really and truly forget, because you guys are so great. And so I told you guys that I had some other questions for y'all. Other than that question about your medical diagnosis just came off the top, because I don't recall ever asking y'all how you feel about it. I know you guys know about it, but I never asked you all how you feel about it. So with that being said, take initiative to think about and ask your kids, hey, how do you feel? How do you feel with what's going on right now? Because it's important to know, is you don't want them to go off the deep end. Let me just ask you this, guys. What are some of the things you go through having parents that are divorced, in Rashawn and DeShawn's case, and having a mother who is not with your father and who is also divorced? Anybody could go first. Any one of you guys could go first.
Wait, what does it feel like for what?
Excuse me. What does it feel like being a child of divorced parents?
So, being a child of divorced parents, I'm going to be honest, it's not that bad to me personally.
Right.
I don't think it affects me as much as it might affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I still get to see my dad.
Right.
But not as much as I see my mom.
Right.
But also, I really think that it can affect me at some times.
When?
So, like, when Mom, remember when I asked you to make the invitations so both sides can come?
Come to what?
My birthday party.
Yes.
And I got super nervous because I hadn't seen my dad in 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So that can affect you.
Right. And he never, so DeShawn, when we separated, he was a baby. So he doesn't even remember us being together. So because most of his life, we weren't together. So it feels differently. It feels different for him than it does. It would, and say a child that's 15, 16, 17, and their parents are divorced. Or even 7, you know what I mean?
Still not a lot of memory.
Right. He doesn't have a lot of memories of his parents. He can only go by if he goes by what he sees, he would think that we always, but
I can just go by what y'all tell me.
Right.
That's all I can say.
He doesn't know. So, him asking, can both sides, because his dad is already remarried. I shouldn't say already. Whatever. But his dad is remarried. And so they have a little sister and they have 2 stepsisters and stuff like that. And so we never celebrated his birthday together. Once, but whatever.
We did?
Yeah, see? He don't know. And so it was a big deal for him to ask. It was a very big deal for him to ask.
Wait, what year was that?
I think
During
he was
COVID.
turning 3 that he came and he took pictures for him or something like that. You remember he had on a Snoopy t-shirt?
3.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that Snoopy
No, for his
t-shirt.
3rd birthday, we went roller skating. BZ?
So then it was 2 then.
So then
there
I
was a
also
second
think
birthday.
it was for during COVID too. They walked to us.
Oh, yeah, because they
and
did
then they met
the
us.
drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's not a lot, right? Thank you, B. Jaja.
Okay. So one thing I will for sure say, it is not easy, but it's not hard. It could be easy, but it could be hard.
Mm-hmm. One way it's easy. One way that it's easy.
One way that it's easy is, like BZ said, you can see them. You could see both of them. You can see both parents. You can see both families. One thing that's hard is the traveling, I would say.
Well, you didn't always have to travel, but now you travel from
My
New
parents
Jersey
live in
to
different
Connecticut.
states.
New Jersey.
We have to go
to
from New Jersey
Connecticut.
We got to go to New Jersey to New York to Connecticut. One thing I would say that is very hard, because it's sometimes like, I don't want to do all this traveling.
Right.
I don't want to do all this. I don't want to walk. Like, I'm tired. But one thing for sure is another thing that's hard is between holidays and weekends
Yeah,
because it's like
that's hard for me too, because I don't want to share. I always want y'all with me for holidays. Like, I want us all to be together for the holidays all the time. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
but it's very hard because, for example, if there's something fun going on out in New Jersey, and then that's my weekend from my father, and we're not doing anything out there, it's like
You're missing everything.
I'm missing everything.
I felt that. I have big FOMO. I have like if
Everything.
I see that
It's
there's an
happened
event and I'm
a
not able to
lot.
go, I get
It's
so
happened a
upset.
lot.
So I definitely understand that.
So it's very hard because when one side of the family is doing something very fun and one is just chilling, you're missing out on like everything. Like the family that you want to see, the cousin that you haven't seen in a while, and they're there, and then you can't even see them for the next few weeks or who knows, because it's weekend by weekend. So you don't know if this mom. I gotta ask am I going to my dad's weekend? Mom, are we staying out here in New Jersey? That's one thing that is very hard. Another thing that's hard, I would say, is it's really just everything. Like, not having like two parents in the same house can be very hard because just like what, like there's so much stuff that could be like done faster if there's like a bigger, like a bigger group.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like building beds, like helping around the house, everything could just run more simple. And for being the position that I'm in, it's just it's not weird, but it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to two states back to back to see my parents. So yeah.
I get that. Ty, how about you? Not growing up with your dad, knowing your dad, then not growing up with him for the
11.
for the majority of your life, and then me getting married and then getting divorced. How do you feel?
I'm gonna be honest. Even though I've only seen I can count on one hand how many times I've seen my dad in the past 16 years, and it's one, two, yeah, twice. So I used to think about that a lot because I also have siblings, and I actually have two siblings I reconnected with in the past year, thank goodness. And not even connected for the first time with my brother.
Yep.
I don't call him my half brother. That's like my brother. Even though we didn't grow up together,
Right.
we didn't have the bond that I have with my brother since we grew up in the same house living together. I still see him as my siblings. And when people tell me, I'm gonna go on a tangent here, when people tell me they don't really care about their for example, their dad's children because they had children by another woman that he cheated on their mother with, for example. I'm just okay, but that's still your sibling at the end of the day. That's
Right.
still your blood
Right.
at the end of the day. So
Yep.
don't be mad at the product of it. Be mad at the person
Who did it?
Who did it.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna hold them accountable for what my father did, because even though we are our father's children, we are so much different from our father.
Yeah. Can I just cut you off real quick? So just real quick, I'm sorry, before you. So these kids were the greatest kids. His sister and his brothers was such good babies because when he was born, I was like, listen, those are his siblings. He has to know them. And so that's what I did.
Right.
I made sure. And so reconnecting, I told him, yo, I'm looking for your brother and your sister, found them, and they reconnected. But they are still the sweetest kids, sweetest adults now. They really are. And they really love each other, despite the time in between that they had, being distant.
Mm-hmm.
So I really admire that about you guys. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and my brother and my sister especially, since we actually know each other. Like, we met before we went many years without contact. Like, the last time we spoke before this year, reconnecting, was back in 2008. And that's when I saw her for her 7th birthday party. And when my mom told me that that she found her, it was just, I was like, I think about them all of the time, and it just caused me so much grief that thank you.
Sorry.
So much grief that we weren't connected for a long time. And the fact that my mom, you, Nephetia, you made it your business to find my siblings and connect me with them, but my own father didn't. He was surprised when Aaliyah told him that I was speaking to Jordan, and he was like, "What? How did they find each other?" And I'm just like,
"What?"
Yeah, that's what he said to Aaliyah, and I'm just like, "What kind of father are you?" Wouldn't you be excited if you said that your children found each other? I don't know, but I'm happy that I reconnected with them and that I still continue to speak to them to this day, even if it may not be every single day. Mm-hmm. At least with Jordan, we still love each other, we still care for each other, and we're there for each other when it counts. So I'm really thankful for that. And I'm really thankful that you took the time to care about children that weren't yours.
You're welcome, but it's important because you needed an extension of yourself, right? Your brothers have their father all the time. And even if your father didn't take the initiative to make sure you guys connected, I knew it was very important because I saw something in my son that I didn't like. He was disconnecting from us. And that was because even though he has my side and he has his brothers, there was nobody else for him to connect to. That person who was responsible, that was supposed to be responsible for, grooming him into a man, he wasn't there. And so I knew that he had siblings, he knew. And I just felt that it was my responsibility to make sure he had that connection, that he had that other side as well. Identity. You have to know who you are. You have to see a reflection of yourself somewhere. I think that's very important. So I'm glad that you're in a better place with that. All right, let me ask you another one. What's up? Anybody got something to say? What you got to say?
Nothing.
What do you guys want most for each other, for one another?
All right, I'll go first with this one.
What do you want most for us?
Well, I want us to stay strong. I just want us to stay strong. No matter what, situation happens, whatever conflict comes up, we all stay together. So it's that's one thing that I would want most.
Mm-hmm.
I love to be like this. It needs to be tight. I love to be tight. Our love for each other. That's one thing that is special about having family.
Right.
Family isn't really anything without love.
Right.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard for a family not to love each other because it's not even a family.
Mm-hmm.
Your blood, but
what else do you have?
What else do you have?
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
I'm sorry. That is what you have. Blood. That's what connects you guys.
Yeah.
So even through all the trials and tribulations, I know my communication skills are not the best. My mom's communication skills are not the best. My aunt's communication skills are not the best. But at the end of the day, we still all have something in common, which is our ancestry and our love for each other.
Right.
So through all of that, we just have to be like resilient through the challenges, because nothing's ever going to be easy. Like even like when we fight, like me and you, like, and I know that sometimes like in the past, even still occasionally, like, you know, I'm your older brother. So, you know, I do love you, but listen, I am annoying, and I'm not going to guarantee that's going to stop anytime soon.
Okay.
But even when we fight and like you are yourself with your sassy comments,
Jay, yo.
I still love you, because we are brothers at the end of the day, and there's nothing that can ever change that. Like that's something permanent. Like we will never not be brothers.
Right.
Like it's not the same like when it was with me and Tyshawn. Like the only thing that held us together was our parents being married to each other. But then
Tyshawn is their older brother. Yeah.
Yes, and he was my stepbrother.
Right.
Which honestly, it kind of hurts me to say that, because he would come over during the summer. You guys weren't really alive yet. I mean, he was alive.
Thought of?
I mean, you guys weren't really thought of either, like the first couple of summers.
Right.
But he was my brother. I'm not gonna say he was like my brother, because like we actually did like have that brotherly bond. Like the way I am to you sometimes, he was to me. Like he would just irritate me, get on my nerves. Like we would play video games together, we would talk, and like our mom and Sean getting divorced, I kind of, I don't want to say ruined that,
like,
but what's up, B?
Weaken that bond?
It definitely did weaken the bond, because like my biggest fear with like blended families is that one parent has their children, another parent has their children, right? So there's this sense of loyalty to your biological parent. And like with me, like I'm loyal, like I'm always going to be loyal to my mom, but like, you know, if she were to do something, like if she were to mistreat Sean, and like, no, Sean, like he's the person that he is. And there's no shade to your dad. Like your dad actually did teach me a lot of stuff. Like, you got to fit in with Ty before you want other people to fit in with you. Like he actually did teach me a lot of great lessons, maybe not in the most appropriate way at times, but I definitely have learned from him. And I realized that as I got older. So I do respect him. I do still have love for him, because he did take me in. He did take care of me financially, at least. So I do respect him for that. But like our parents getting divorced did kind of like make that bond go away, because he was, you know, he's
loyal to his father.
He's loyal to his father. So, but like I was saying, like if Sean was like, you know, if he was nice to you and like I saw that you were mistreating him, I would be upset too, because, you know, that's the person that's taking care of me as well. That's the person that's in the house with me.
Right.
So like, I remember this one time you asked me like, if I were to cheat on him, would you tell him? And I remember me answering yes. I was definitely, I did yes. And I said yes. I said yes, y'all.
He absolutely
I did say yes,
he
because
he did. He would snitch on his mama. He did.
even though I probably knew that Nitron would have done the same thing.
Right.
But I feel like that's what like sets me apart from people. Like
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna be okay.
You're not gonna just be siding with, be on one side just because that's who you supposed, you're gonna be loyal to. You're gonna see things. He sees things right and wrong. That's it.
Right.
I mean, there's an in between with him, but more something like
with
that.
Me,
he's like,
it's like an all or nothing thing.
Right.
I've always been like black and white. I think that's my autism.
Yeah, it is. It gotta be, because snitching on your mom is diabolical. Oh man, I surely did ask him that. That was like at the end when he was leaving and he left or whatever the case is, and I was still married, and I was like, well, I deserve to go out and find somebody too. And then I asked him, he was like, nah, I'm telling him. I'm like, he not even here. How you gonna tell?
Well, at a certain point, I was calling him dad and everything.
Exactly.
So like,
don't cheat on your dad, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, come on, Even
though our relationship wasn't the best, like I do still acknowledge the good parts of it.
Right, me too.
So,
me too. So, I think we got off track. I forgot. What was the question that I asked him?
I don't know. Look in your book.
That was good. That was real good.
Never mind.
What?
Never mind.
I'll just ask you another question.
No, that question.
What?
The question we were just on.
Yeah, no. Oh, what do you want most? Yes, for your family. Look at that.
One
Maybe
word
I got ADHD
and one word. One word and one word only.
What?
And then the minimum explanation, 25 words. Success.
Success. Wow, that's a good word. I want success for us too. So y'all, this has been educational for me. You're never too old to learn, and it's good that we learn about one another, because it's only fair, right? It's only fair. But I want to ask y'all this last question. I think this is the last question. I think this is a good last question too. What advice can you give to parents that are going through a divorce? And what advice can you give their children?
I'll go first. I got my answer.
You went first like 10 million times already.
It was only once.
All right, whatever.
No.
Go ahead.
All right. So advice I can give to kids, since I am a son that grew up with a single mom, no memories with my dad being together.
Right.
I can say it's gonna be hard, but like you can get through it.
Okay.
And for the parents, I said it in the car. It's also going to be hard for you because you just got to readjust.
Just got to readjust.
All right, cool.
You got to readjust and you're going to push through it. You're strong. But them kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to keep an eye on them.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Ty. What advice can you give the parents going through divorce and the kids?
Okay.
And their kids.
All right. One thing that I would have advice for the parents, don't really stress it. Like, you can grieve, you can take the time that you need to, but don't take it to the point where you're not killing yourself, but you're killing yourself. Like
killing your spirit.
Like killing your spirit.
Your
You're
body.
drinking. You're just saying slump. You're eating sloppy. You're around keeping your house a mess. Open up to your kids.
That's good.
Definitely.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't think about, oh, what did I do wrong? Or was this my fault? What was the reason why we separate? It happens. Life happens. That's one thing I will always keep in my mindset. Life happens. Everything can happen. You never know when it can happen. You never know how it can happen. But just know you got to push yourself. You can't just stay in one trapped pit for the rest of your life over a chapter ending. You have to make a new one begin.
Wow, that's good.
Another thing for the parents is don't have any hatred towards the other parent. Please.
We know that's not always easy.
That's never easy.
Right.
However, the more hatred you have for that one parent, the more toxicity there is between both bonds. That can end up to, you're not going to see him, you're not going to see her.
Right.
It's always going to end up in some type of serious problem to the point where police gets called.
But you jump from, wait. I mean, to the police? Really? You jump to the police?
Because when...
really? The po-po?
For real, because...
I mean, come on.
Abusive relationships like that.
But
who said it was
mommy was not
abusive?
domestically abused,
no,
though.
not domestically abused, but as like advice towards other parents that will go through that or have relationships like that.
Okay.
I forgot the word.
Just have, you don't have to love them, but
animosity.
have respect for each other, or animosity. Have animosity. Don't have animosity.
And then if you hold that grudge, it could spread through the family. And then, let's say, y'all live close to each other like we used to do. He was on prospect. And then he came to pick him up. The whole family's outside. The whole family's outside, right?
With the side eye, right? Well.
And then that parent isn't holding the grudge anymore. He thinks they moved on. She thinks they moved on.
But the family's still side eyeing.
Yeah. Have a good night. Have a good night. Can't hold that grudge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially, like that too.
Like you could hold it, but not for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I mean by just have respect.
Okay. That's good to know.
Don't mind about the police part.
Whatever, it's too late. I'm gonna go to Tyshawn now. That's too late. You already said the police get called. How you jump from whatever? Go ahead, Ty.
All right, my advice, and this is some personal branding I'm doing on my mom's podcast. Would be to unleash your inner Titan. Yes, Titan. That's my stage name.
That's his stage name, Titan.
Titan. And what I mean by that is you have to, for both the children and the adults, we have to be strong. We have to be resilient. But more in depth for the children, don't worry yourselves too much about your parents' divorce. Your parents' divorce, almost 100% of the time, has nothing to do with you guys.
Right.
Like, things happen. Adults get married, and they discover that things don't always work out, no matter how hard you try to like stay together. Things don't always work out for whatever reason. And I don't want to say, I mean, it is okay, but I understand that it's not ideal, because when you marry someone, there's this saying, at least in like the Western world, till death do us apart. So that's basically saying like you're making a lifelong commitment to this person to always be there for them in sickness and in health, at their best and at their worst. So I definitely get it, but children need room to be children and not worry about stuff like being the reason that their parents got divorced, because I guarantee you 100% of the time almost that you're never the reason why they're not together anymore. You're never the reason. And to the adults in the situation, especially adults with children that are divorced, your kids are your bond.
Right.
So for as long as your kids are children, you guys have to communicate. You guys have to figure stuff out. You just, like I said before, you just have to like readjust. You just gotta readjust. Oh, and shout out to Naughty V Dottie. She's the artist that actually has that slogan in her song, Readjust. It's on iTunes, so stream it. I love her.
Oh my God, the plug right here.
Just gotta readjust.
Yeah, we just have to keep going. We have to keep being strong as adults. We have to act like adults and be good role models to the children. And even if you don't have children, just be a good role model for yourself and don't let other people try to weigh you down, because I know ex-spouses can be annoying, especially when the other person has found someone else. And I'm not talking about you guys.
Right. No, yeah.
Life happens, and you know, it may not be fair, and I'm not defending injustice, but sometimes you just have to accept the fact that that person is with another person and that you are not the one for them at that point, at least. And you just have to deal with it accordingly. Like, you can't beat yourself up over it, because you're only hurting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're only making yourself become more distressed. That other person is out there living their life, but you have to make sure that you are okay. Because like I said before, there is no one that's going to make sure that you're okay the way that you're going to make sure that you're okay, with the exception, again, of like your parents.
Right.
And even then, like, parents get tired. Parents are human.
Right.
So they're going to tell you, listen, I love you, but you got to find a way to deal with this.
That's truth. That's truth right there.
Like, I know my mom and my other motherly figures, such as my grandmother and my aunts, are possibly one of the only people in this world who will ever care about me more than I care about myself.
Right.
But even then again, I can't let them. They all have their own lives too.
Mm-hmm.
One of my aunts also has children. My grandmother, she just turned like 64, and 64 where? Like, she's resilient, she's strong, she be walking every day.
Right.
Like, we love you, DeWalter Brown. But you have to be your own rock sometimes. And I know that sucks, but you got to do whatever it is that you have to do to make yourself be better.
That's truth. And I get sick of being my own rock. But you know what? You know, I stand on a solid foundation. And y'all know I put God first. And so through prayer, you know, I'm always praying. You know, I'm always talking to God. Just conversations, and it always helps, you know, to listen to some inspirational music, and then just to see what you have. You may have lost something or someone, but you have to look at what you have in front of you. And for me, it's my family, especially my sons. Just seeing how they bounce back after everything they've gone through, and watching what I've gone through, and, you know, what I've been through. They're still standing strong. And a lot of times your biggest lessons come from your children. Children have a way of being super resilient, and that's because they're not super tainted by the world yet. And so my prayer for you guys is that you remain resilient. You know, you gain the success that you want. You gain the success that I pray for you guys, that you keep going, Ty, that you keep moving steadily in your career and in the entertainment world. Jaja, that you are successful in high school and you gain everything that your high school has to offer. His high school offers real estate licensing and apprenticeships. Man, and you go on. Schools, you know what I mean?
Have nothing on
you
the
know
Jersey
what I'm saying? New Jersey
system.
education is lit.
Because real estate systems were like, we were just learning a bunch of algebra, geometry. Right. I know those are still basic math classes, but I don't use that now. Right. Like, I could have had a real estate license. I could be selling houses, and I can still do it.
But to learn it this young is major.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And BZ, I just want you to keep remembering that you're not a scatterbrain and that you can be number one at anything you put your mind to. You guys are the best. You guys are, the best part of me. And I appreciate you guys for accepting me for who I am and accepting that I don't always communicate well because they're my kids. And so, you do what I say sometimes. Sometimes I'm not totally like that, but and that, you love and accept one another for who you guys are. This has been, I'm quite sure this is going to remain like my favorite episode ever. Just because I appreciate y'all being here and being so honest with their mom. And I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you, Mom.
Love you too.
This has been an awesome episode. I pray that you guys received what I felt here. I pray that you guys received what I felt here. I pray that this dynamic, single mom with 3 sons, pushing through every day, I pray that you grasp exactly what I'm trying to give, and that's anything is possible. Believe that's impossible. Work towards it and you'll receive it. Rebuilding does not come overnight. Rehabilitation of the heart does not come overnight. It's steady work, right? You got to put in work.
Put in
work. Put in work.
Put in work. Put in work. Put in work. Hey, put in work.
Put in work.
Put in work.
We love you guys. We love you guys. I'm calling y'all my heart throbbers. That's what I'm calling y'all. So heart throbs, we love you. I love you. Thank you for joining me. This is Nephetia Brown with Heart Rehab. I'm out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.